Most people think they're failing because of bad luck, their upbringing, or because they're not good enough. But this couldn't be further from the truth. In my 20s and 30s, I had two businesses. Actually, I had three businesses that failed, and I thought it was for those reasons. But the truth is, it was my mindset and my actions that caused me to fail. That's why I want to share 5 lessons that can help you to succeed. Number one, lack of focus. How many times have you gone to the gym, spent a few hours there, and barely done any exercises, or spent your whole day at your desk but have nothing to show for it? Whether it's your friends, your family, your girlfriend, or even your messy setup, the inability to focus will cause you to fail. When I was in school, I really struggled to focus. So when I had to prepare for my exams, I found it really hard. On this one day, I got so bored, I went to pick up the dumbbells to do some exercises. But when I went down to pick the dumbbell up, I ended up banging my head and getting this tiny little scar on my face. Now I might have a cool scar, but I ended up failing all my exams. This inability to focus continued in my 20s and 30s. I would end up spending multiple days on certain things which only needed a few hours. This drained me mentally and it killed my confidence. And you might be doing the same. You might be spending 10 hours on something which only needs a few hours. You might be spending 3 hours in the gym when you only need to spend 60 minutes. And if you're spending so much time on something and not getting the results, this kills your confidence but also makes you feel like shit. All because you can't focus. You may not realize it, but you could be wasting a lot of time which is killing your results. Once I set up the right schedule, my whole life changed. I went from working 12 hours a day to 4 hours a day. By focusing on what I need to do and removing distractions, I'm getting more work done in 4 hours than I was getting done in 12 hours. This shows that more time doesn't equal better results. If anything, it'll probably leave you more drained and more exhausted. So if you're not getting the results that you want, maybe you should look at what you're doing with your time and see where you can improve. Certain things that I've done to improve my life: when I wake up in the morning, I go straight to my desk. I make sure my desk is clear. There's no distractions on there. I put my phone into airplane mode. I put my phone into the other room. I give myself 3 hours to work without distraction. I also make sure that I've had a good night's sleep. By doing those small things, when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to work. After a few hours, I go to the gym. I come back and I work for another hour. And that's it. Before, I was working all day from 7 a.m. to about 9 p.m. and I was doing little tasks here. I was getting distracted. I was going in and out of work and not really achieving much. Furthermore, by the end of the day, I was mentally drained. So I wasn't looking forward to the next day. But now, because I only work 3 hours in the morning, 1 hour after the gym, when it comes to the next day, I'm fresh and I'm ready to go. I actually want to get up and go to work. Therefore, if you're not getting the results that you want or you're constantly failing, maybe look to reduce the amount of time you're working, but really put some effort into that time and make it worthwhile. Once you do that, you will start to get some results. When you get your results, you'll get more confidence. And when you get that confidence, you will just want to continue. Sometimes it can feel like we're not doing enough, so we try doing more things throughout the day. But this can have a negative impact. Maybe you just need to reduce the amount of time you're working and get really focused in that period. If you do that, you will start to see the results. Number 2, quitting when things get difficult. When I was at university, I set up my first business. I was having the time of my life, taking trips to London, buying stock, creating this amazing website, thinking I was going to be a millionaire. But when things got difficult, I ended up quitting that business, carrying on with my degree and working in the hospital. I thought to myself, there's no point me carrying on with this business because I can't seem to make it work. So I might as well quit, work in the hospital for a few years, earn some money, and then I can try again. But quitting when things got difficult created the wrong mindset. So when I set up my second business, when things got tough, I did the same. I ended up quitting again and going back to the hospital. And guess what? I did the same on my third business. I didn't realize the mindset I created after quitting that first business. I thought by just trying was enough to succeed, but that's only one part of the puzzle. You can try as much as you want, but if you quit every time something gets tough, you create the wrong mindset and you lose the ability to build the mental resilience you need to succeed in life. Quitting also causes you to lose momentum, taking you back to the beginning. And if you're constantly doing this over and over again, it can make you feel stuck and make you feel like achieving the things that you want is impossible. Once that mindset sets in, it feels like you're destined to fail. I think a lot of men underestimate how capable and how strong they are, so they end up giving up and not trying when things get difficult. The truth is, there is no growth in comfort, and every time you choose comfort over difficulty, you lose the opportunity to become better. If you want to achieve anything in life, you gotta be willing to push through when things get difficult. Trust me, from someone who always chose comfort, it never leads to any success. All it leads to is a lot of regrets. Now that I'm learning to deal with these difficult situations, whether it's learning how to ride a motorbike, which I'm just doing, I'm going to go in a few hours, or learning how to swim in the last year, by facing difficulty and challenges in my life, it's letting me know how capable I am. If you're happy in your situation and you don't mind failing, walk away from difficult situations, avoid challenges. But if you want to grow as a man, become better, become mentally stronger, the next time you're faced with a difficult situation, instead of walking away from it, think, what can I do to get through this? And if you do that, you will find the answer. Sometimes it may mean just going through a little bit of pain. Sometimes it may mean that you're going to have to face a little bit of discomfort. Sometimes it may mean that you might have to make a few sacrifices. But it's those decisions that will stop you from failing, but also help you to succeed. Number 3, self-reflection. Failing can be really painful, especially when you look around and everyone seems to be smashing it. You jump online, people are living in Bali, making money, driving nice cars, and then there's you. You've tried something, it's not worked. You're trying something again, it's not worked. And then you've tried a third time and it's still not working. When you see other people doing well and all you seem to do is fail, it can really kill your confidence and make you want to give up. I felt like this when my first 3 businesses failed. I took some lessons from each business, but I didn't really look into why they failed, what I did wrong, and what I could have done better. This was one of the biggest mistakes I made because I ended up making the same mistakes over and over again. Sometimes you gotta look at your mistakes, look at your failures, or as I like to call them, experiences, to learn and get better. It can be painful to look at your past and look at all the mistakes you made, but if you ignore them, you're missing vital lessons, and more importantly, you will end up making them same mistakes over and over again. It's only after I took some time to look at what I was doing and realize that I actually had a quitter mindset. I would end up quitting when things got difficult or things didn't go my way. I always knew there was other options, but this was no reason for me to quit those businesses, because my first business was drop shipping. If I had worked on that 15 years ago, I don't know where I could have been. My second business was to do with healthcare products. There is so many opportunities for that business, but I ended up quitting. My third business was a car business. Everyone needs a car, but I ended up quitting. It's only when I took time to look at what I was doing, the mistakes I made, I realized I was quitting too early when things got difficult or things didn't go my way. Now, if I didn't look at my past experiences, I would have continued to make the same mistakes and I wouldn't be succeeding today. It's because I took time to look at all my mistakes and realize why I was failing. So if you're not getting the results that you want or you keep failing, you need to take some time to look at your past and really analyze it and see where you're going wrong. Maybe it's the people you're surrounded by. Maybe you're doing certain things that are causing you to fail. Maybe you're rushing into decisions. Whatever it is, your past failures, or as I like to call them, experiences, hold valuable lessons. So take full advantage of them. Start looking at your past and see how you can improve going forward. If you do that, you will succeed. Number 4, not controlling your emotions. When you let your emotions take over, you can end up reacting instead of thinking what you should really do. Things like getting angry can stop you from thinking clearly, getting upset can make you do something stupid, getting annoyed can stop you from taking action. When you let your emotions control your actions, you will end up making the wrong decisions and causing yourself to fail. That's why it's so important that you learn to control your emotions but also make the right decisions. Growing up, I was very emotional, and looking back, I made terrible decisions when I was frustrated, angry, annoyed, or upset. Now, if you're someone struggling to control your emotions, you can do two things. You can either use it as fuel to achieve the things that you want, or you can find ways to deal with it. Whatever option you choose, having emotions is not a bad thing, but not being able to control them is what will cause you to fail. We just have to figure out which one works better for you. I use my anger to fuel me to do better things, to improve my business and do the things that I want. Every time I get a little bit emotional and I get frustrated with a situation, I breathe. I found different ways to manage my emotions. And if you want any help with that, the link's in the description. We can work together and find the right ways so you don't let your emotions cause you to fail. Number 5, consistency. As boring as it sounds, turning up every day will help you to succeed and prevent you from failing. It's the small things you do every day that will help you to build the life that you want. It's not about going gym for 4 hours every day for the first week and then giving up. It's all about turning up every day so your results can compound over time. If you're always starting and stopping, you will never achieve the things that you want, because every time you stop, you lose all momentum and you have to go back to the beginning. If you are sick of failing, I want you to start by doing a little bit every day and build on that. Whether it's working for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, or even 5 minutes, just do a little bit every day and you will realize over time how easy it is just to turn up and then just build on that. Now, these 5 lessons will help you to get started. But if you want to change your life in 6 months, you might want to click here.